my name is Margaret Adele, and I am stressed and tired because of the everything that is 2020, and the only way to stop myself from doom scrolling is reading. And the problem is that now I have a 4-day break off work, and that would be fun, except that gives me more time to spend on Twitter. And spending time on Twitter right now just leaves my heart racing, and I don't know what to do with all that nervous energy. And it sucks because it's NaNoWriMo, and I should be on Twitter. I should be doing writing sprints, and I should be sharing one-liners, and I should be liking everyone's posts about how many words they wrote. It should be a fun time. Instead, I'm here. So, because I can't stop my head from spiraling, I have decided that I am doing a 24-hour readathon on Thursday, November 5th. I really hope nothing blows up. Bonus points if you get that reference. But anyway, I am currently filming this on the night of November 4th. Like before, I am going to start at midnight, but only read maybe for about an hour, or actually until I finish one of my current reads. I am not doing this based on books read, I am doing this based on pages read. And I'm hoping that doing it based on that will encourage a variety of reading and not me always focusing on like that one really short book that's going to get me another book added even though I don't really care about it. So I have a couple current reads along with another ebook. This one I'm definitely finishing tonight. This one is a review book. I will probably read at least 50 pages of it tomorrow, but I can't read it tired or stressed, so I'm going to have to be very careful with this one. I also have my physical book TBR. All of these are ones that I either bought used or was a gift, and then I have a bunch of ebooks picked out that I got for free off BookBub, and I'm not going to go over them one by one because that is 13 books with my currently reading altogether, and that's just too much time, especially when I probably won't end up reading like half of them. Like I'll probably get like maybe this one in because it's like short, or like I've seen the movie for this one and I really like this one, so like I'm interested in all of them. And I'm happy to do pages read because that will make me feel a little bit more productive. And it's a nice bigger number. I don't know if I'm going to put it in the title or not yet, but I will begin at midnight. But for now, I am going to go hang out, maybe talk with my husband, and shave off the yawning. So I will see you at midnight. Hello, it is almost midnight, so I am going to almost get started on the last 89 pages, if I did my math correctly, of Immortal Danger by Cynthia Eden. This is a paranormal romance all about this woman who used to be a regular cop, but then turned into a vampire, and now this strange man is asking for her help in finding his lost niece. And I picked it originally from the dollar bin, or I guess just the bin at the dollar store, because I was like, ooh, a paranormal romance where the woman's the vampire and the man's like just human. Like that's very different. But then you find out that no, he's not human. And I won't say what he is for spoilers because it's this big reveal, but it's like just once, can the woman be the rock star billionaire CEO vampire once? Like, why can't we encourage the women reading these romance novels to have those fantasies? You get to be the billionaire rock star CEO with demons. I mean, I wouldn't want a man to save me then. WLW romances. That's what we need. I need to read some WLW romances where the woman gets to be the rock star and the woman gets to be the group. But anyway, I am going to jump in the minute it hits midnight, finish this, and then we'll promptly be off to bed. And I have finished Immortal Danger by Cynthia Eden, which means the first 89 pages of the 24-hour readathon have been read, and now I need to go to bed, and I will check in the morning. Maybe I'll be productive and get up at a decent time, or maybe I'll sleep in. I don't know. The whole point of this is to prevent me from doom scrolling, and I can't doom scroll when I'm sleeping, so I guess it counts. But anyway, hopefully the next time you see me, I won't be quite as dead on my feet. Good morning. I'm feeling a little bit better, slept like the dead last night, and I decided that starting off today, I'm going to read The City of Ember by Jan Dupro. I need some mid-grade to ease me into reading all day, and I think this counts as mid-grade sci-fi, which intrigues me. I watched the movie at some point. It's all about a boy and a girl living in this underground city that was built after this nuclear fallout, and things start falling apart in that city. So they need to find a way to fix it or go up to the surface and see if things are still growing, but adults in the city aren't for it. And I remember liking the movie, or at least what parts I saw of it. So I'm going to read this one, although, you know, dystopian could be an iffy sell at the best of times, but I feel weirdly comforted by them. We are also making some points to only, from this point forward, for this foreseeable future, use drive-thrus and deliveries, even though we've always worn our masks when we leave, absolutely always. The cases in our county continue to rise. I believe we are above 16%, which is over 1 in 8 people having it. So we've even had to cancel Thanksgiving, and Christmas is still up in the air. And yes, I'm bummed, so I have another thing to read about to distract myself. So we're going to jump in after we go through a drive-thru to get drinks using masks and drive-thrus because we're good kids. I'm going to get myself something to help me wake fully up. And I think if I really go hard and go at it, I could probably have this read before lunch. Alright, I am over halfway through The City of Ember. It is very much that classic mid-grade style, and I definitely like those dystopias that quite blatantly tell you things about, like, our normal world that they no longer, like, remember or understand. Those are always, like, amusing to me. Like, they don't know what the word boat means when they read it in ancient texts. But, it's really cute. It reads really fast. It's, like, not even 10, but my brain is also like going a mile a minute, and it is a gorgeous day outside. So I think I'm going to take a quick walk, maybe take a moment to do my Duolingo for the day because I don't want to fall back on my dailies. Although reading 100 pages is one of my dailies, so I'm really going to be killing it with that one. Regardless, I will easily have this done before lunch, and then I will start in on something else in the afternoon. So I was going to wait until I'd finished the rest of the book before checking in again. But I have to say something. This book has severe religious overtones, like really blatant religious overtones, where like the other city that our main character Lena draws is basically supposed to be, you know, all white and light and ethereal in heaven. And when she discovers that someone is hoarding goods for themselves, don't they know that those goods won't save them? And it's like, wow, this is pretty blatant. And I feel like a lot of books get away with that in the whole, if you make it speculative, people will kind of just look over the fact that there's like really religious overtones to it, because this book, like, the elementary school I used to work at, like, 4th graders would read this book as part of their book clubs. Now, granted, it would be like the more advanced readers in the class, but still, like, this is read and like dissected in schools. So the fact that there's so much religiosity to this is slightly concerning, but I think I can finish it pretty quick. Don't know that I'm all that intrigued to continue with the series, but I also think that this, I don't know, I'm trying to guess if this one is actually going to go as far in the plot as the movie did, because again, there's not a lot left, and like the big stuff hasn't really started yet, but still, I'll definitely be happy to have this one finished before lunch. And I have finished City of Ember, and yep, heinously religious. Like, I do not recall this much religious overtones in the movie, but then again, that kind of stuff usually gets weeded out. But the whole, nothing exists but here, but then, oh, maybe there's something beyond here, and an entire group of people called believers, and a lot of, like, where does life come from talk, like, oh my gosh. Probably will not be continuing with the series. Quite frankly, don't really need it. But I have finished another book. I have another 270 pages. So I am going to actually take a quick break to do the dishes, my Duolingo, and then at some point gotta grab a lunch. But I've already read a full book from beginning to end today, so we're off to a great start. The dishes have been done, laundry has been started, because it is not a Margaret Adele reading vlog unless the sound of the washer is in the background. But I'm getting smarter and not standing right next to it when I do a check-in. So, I have finished my book. I need to start a new one at some point. And I think I am going to pick my Nano Research book, In Between by Lynn Burke. This is not the same genre as my Nano work. I am writing sci-fi with dragons. This is more slightly speculative, but mostly contemporary romance. All about a male couple, who decide to introduce their new secretary into their relationship dynamic. So it is a triad romance, completely triad, not reverse harem. They are romantically entangled as much as the woman is. And I have a triad coming in my work. I also have a character that is an empath, and so is one of the characters in this one, although it's not the same dynamic as in mine, and I don't think it'll be used the same way as in mine, but I like to do this kind of thing where I read books that have something similar to what I'm writing, but not exactly the same genre, because if you write in exactly the same genre and only read that genre, you tend to propagate tropes, but in this case, I can kind of take what was used for a triad in a contemporary and mash it all up. And how would this look in a sci-fi with occult and dragons? So, this is also only a little over 200 pages, and it's an indie romance book I got off of BookBub, so you know it's going to read fast. But actually, before I begin, I'm going to do a little bit more writing on the Nano novel. I'll do at least 2 writing sessions today, mostly because there's a badge for updating your writing count multiple times over the course of a day, and I really want all of the badges this time, but I'm gonna do a little bit of that first, and then hopefully it'll be time for lunch. I don't know, we're having a very late lunch today, but then I will jump into the next book. Alright, it is almost 2:30 in the afternoon, and I did not realize how sleepy I was until I went to lay on the couch to read this book. So, I am a little over halfway through, and I have no idea how many pages it actually is, because the Goodreads thing said it was like 220, but then I actually read it, and the pages, it remarkably has pages at the bottom of the Kindle version, said it was like 340, but it reads really fast, so I have no idea. I'm counting it as 340, because I want the extra pages to make the number at the end of the day bigger. But anyway, this is about this couple, Ethan and Damien, who end up going on a temporary break because of relationship problems. Ethan finds Shalia, which I'm still iffy about that name, very attractive, their new secretary, and they start like something, and he realizes that he still loves Damien, wants him back, but also can't give up Shalia, and so he basically asks them to become a triad, essentially. And I'm not entirely sure how I feel about that. Granted, it is kind of similar to what I'm planning with mine, only in that case, there's like political machinations with royalty and all that kind of stuff, but it's not like my MLM couple doesn't have like active we're going to break up problems, just, you know, the run-of-the-mill things they need to work through type of things. Still, I don't know that it's going to be much more than a 3-star, but it's a decent read overall, and the steamy scenes should be properly steamy. I've liked what I've seen so far. It just seems much more focused on sex than the romance. Like, I'm still not exactly sure how well they're going to fit together romantically, and also the problem being that they basically told each other all of their baggage from like day one, which is, it's lazy writing, but you know, that's not really what you read this book for. So certain things I'll probably take from it, but I might need to look up some other triad stuff to really cement where exactly I want to go with the romance in my story and how I want it to move forward. Another book read. It is Death After 3, and I am so sleepy, and I don't know why, but the book was more focused on the sex scenes than the romance in general, so it didn't feel that much what I was going for, because I don't even know if I'm going to have even one sex scene in mine, and if I do, it'll be like a max of one. So it didn't feel exceedingly pertinent, and this author, by the looks of it, has published other Triad romances, but I don't know that I want to keep on with this one since this one wasn't exactly helpful for me. So if you know of any other Triad romances, please let me know in the comments down below. And yes, Leela Mina, in case you're watching and you're gonna suggest your own, I know I need to get to book 4. I'm working on it. I got a lot of review books, but I think I'm gonna take another walk or something to kind of like wake myself up before I end up falling asleep in the middle of the next book I want to read, and then I'll come back and like try to figure out. But considering the fact that this one was what, 343 pages, and everything that I've read so far, and yes, I am taking notes, I am easily over 600 right now, probably closer to 700. I can definitely break 1,000 pages today, if nothing else. I still have to do the 50 pages of Nexus too. I got a lot going on, but I got another book finished. I'm happy with myself, and I will check in with you in a little bit. I have finished my writing for the day, and I got over 2,200 words, which is several hundred more than you need to get in a day to get to that 50,000 at the end of the month. So I'm super proud of myself. Hopefully I'll have enough words built up if I ever need to miss a day. Now, I've been looking and thinking, and I need something a little bit maybe spookier or like a little bit more intense because the other books haven't really been doing it for me. And I decided to go with Dawn's Promise by A.W. Exley. This is all about a woman who is down on her luck and ends up taking a job as a gardener at this rundown estate. She's not who the owner really wanted, but she has a couple weeks to prove herself, and in the midst of trying to prove herself, begins to discover some spooky things. Now, it might also be a romance, judging by it, and I did really like Ella the Slayer by A.W. Exley, which was Cinderella retelling as if Cinderella was an Edwardian-era zombie slayer. Very much enjoyed that one, so I have high hopes for this one, and I found them both for free off BookBub, which was nice. So I'm probably going to get started on that fairly soon. I can definitely finish that by the end of the night. At some point, we're going to stop for dinner, but for now, I'm ready to jump back in. Alright, so I am about 87 pages into this. It's a fairly quick read, and already I can kind of see some of the same aspects of this work that I saw in Ella the Slayer. That is a very big dedication to the time period, the same way that Ella the Slayer was very dedicated to the Edwardian. There's a lot of aspects on Victorian gardening, which oddly enough, I actually have a background in because I took a British History since 1666 course, and there was a lesson all about how obsessed the Victorians were with maintaining gardens. So when this talks about, I'm going to forget his name, like Capability Brown, I knew who that was. And we have had the first meeting of who are going to inevitably be the romantic couple of the book, and also the mysterious black vines growing over everything that are undoubtedly going to have some mystifying origins. So I'm very much enjoying this so far. However, it is almost 6:30 and I need to do my workout, but I mean, I read during it, so I don't actually have to stop. It's the beautiful part of an exercise bike. So, but first, I got to practice some guitar, which I will not be showing on the vlog because I've been having some gigantic bouts of imposter syndrome lately, and I don't really want to try to film 20 different clips of the same song and then delete all of them and have wasted all that time like last time. So, I will check in with you in a bit. You can hear the... Alright. I am about halfway through Dawn's Promise by A.W. Exley, and I am really enjoying it. We have gotten to the explanation of what's going on and the basic exposition of the big problem, and it is a properly big problem, and I enjoy it. I also enjoy how Dawn is just like, oh, so this is the thing that's been going on. Okay, because she already has figured out that weird stuff is happening. But I do need to do 50 pages of Nexus, my review book, before I get too tired. This is a military sci-fi, and in this case, this is the sequel to Dakiti, and in this one, Ziva, our very, very badass female protagonist of the series, has been framed for a murder and is on the run. You know, one of those good storylines. And she has to team up with the guy who's you know, brother she killed, and that was the thing in the first book. So I'm really intrigued by this one. However, it is very military sci-fi, a lot of action scenes and technical stuff and investigations. So I really can't read it sleepy, especially considering the fact that I'm going to do an entire review video for this one. So I'm going to instead make myself some tea, have some fun with that. Ooh, we just got popcorn today. I can make myself some popcorn. But anyway, I'm going to do 50 pages of that, probably write in my journal at some point, finish off the last of Dawn's Promise, and I will probably call it there, because if I'm doing the math correctly, that'll be well over 1,000 pages. Not breaking my record for the last 24-hour readathon, but I have done exactly what I intended to do. I have kept my stress levels very low. I have enjoyed a lot of reading. I have not been doom scrolling. Now things could get doomish tomorrow too, but I don't think I can do two 24-hour readathons 2 days in a row. That's beyond me. But anyway, I've enjoyed it so far, and I will check in with you when I've done some more reading.
Greatest escape, fleeing through the leaves, the redwood giants, fleeing through the leaves.
So I have read the next 50 pages of Nexus, and I'm finally glad we're to the point where two very disparate storylines. There was like a subplot with like this mining town under attack by mercenaries, and I could not fathom why it was involved in the storyline, but now it seems they're finally overlapping, so we're going to figure out how they're involved. And I'm still like, it's definitely supposed to be a found family dynamic between the protagonist and two of her teammates, but like it always stops just short. Like, I definitely believe they're like very close teammates in this military setting, but like I'm not feeling the found family yet, and I'm a sucker for that. But I need to write in the journal, and then I can jump back into Dawn's Promise, and I might actually have some time to just hang out and play mobile games on my tablet, I think is what we're going to end up doing while watching some YouTube. I have remarkably not checked Twitter a lot today. I've checked it a couple times, but thankfully my feed, while there is like political stuff, there's also been like a lot of nano stuff or indie book stuff. So it hasn't been too terrible, but again, tomorrow could be worse. But you know, this is not the most politically devastating November 5th in history. Guy Fawkes still holds the title, so let's hope it stays that way. I am officially done with Dawn's Promise by A.W. Exley. I really enjoyed it. The only thing that I wish there'd been more of is I generally prefer my romances to have both points of views, or, you know, in the case of the Triad, 3 points of views, which, to be fair, in between did actually have all 3 points of views, because there's just something a lot more fun about the angst and the yearning when you see it from both perspectives. And this one did have some nice angst and yearning. Surprise content warnings for sexual assault that I was not expecting. But in general, I enjoyed it. I do like A.W. Exley's work. But for some reason, and this happened with L of the Slayer too, they write these like standalone romances, you know, a couple gets together each book, and usually I'm a sucker for those. It's one of my favorite kinds of romance series, because like, oh, I like this character now, I could see this character fall in love with their old book, and then that leads to a different character, and you essentially build, in most cases, a found family out of it, and it's so cute. But both of L of the Slayer and this one, I don't necessarily care to continue reading the series, because I never read the sequel to L of the Slayer, and I don't know what it is. It's just, if it's the side characters either get so much time that I don't necessarily need more from them, or they don't get enough time that I'm not interested. I can't quite tell. Editing Margaret here. It is the next day, and I have been thinking about it, and I can't in good conscience not say something. I actually need to really take down my praise of Dawn's Promise, because after a lot of thought on certain aspects and later in the book, it It's victim blaming a rape victim a little bit. A lot of it, actually. Someone else in the story, not our main character, is shown to be forced into a sexual situation against their will. It even comes out that it is against their will. And Dawn somehow spins it into a betrayal when the person was the victim. And I don't know why my brain didn't focus on that, because usually when that kind of thing pops up, I am really quick to give books like 1 or 2 stars for that kind of thing. And I guess I was just, you know, happy to have finished another book, and I didn't want to have another lackluster book that I was willing to let it slide, and that's not okay. So this book has a ton of victim blaming, has a character that is somehow made to be the bad guy. You're supposed to feel bad for Dawn feeling betrayed that someone she loved was raped. So yeah, would not recommend. And considering the fact that I haven't continued on with either of A.W. Exley's series once I started, I might just put it aside for now. BookBub has plenty of other fantastic ones, but I really am annoyed with myself that I didn't catch and comment on that sooner, because normally I don't let that kind of thing slide. So yeah, keep a lookout for that one. Major content warnings, and hopefully I will do better next 24-hour readathon. I really got to get more, you know, in the nitty-gritty when I pick the books. Regardless, I have officially read from beginning to end 3 books, and I finished a 4th and then got a little bit farther with my review book, and I believe, if I have tallied it all up correctly, I have read 1,108 pages today, which is a good sizable chunk. Not my record, I don't think, but it's also not my worst 24-hour readathon. I think of the 3 I've done, this one ranks in the middle. But I am very proud of myself for that. I have sufficiently avoided doom scrolling. Tomorrow is going to be probably an even harder day, but tomorrow is probably also the day big decisions are going to be made. Although by the time you're watching this, you already know this isn't going up until Saturday. So I hope we all got through it. I hope you're watching this feeling good about the world. I'm probably going to spend the day tomorrow playing a lot of Sims, I think. But in general, if you're still watching, thank you so much. Have you ever tried a 24-hour readathon? Please let me know. If you decided, if you're one of the few people that jumped in on this one with me, please let me know how it went. Definitely, if you did your own video, leave that in the comments below. I'd love to see that one. And with nothing else to say, I hope you have a wonderful day and a marvelous tomorrow.